Got money on my mind, I swear I'm gonna win, even if it kills me. I got money on my mind, the only way I'm gonna rest is if these motherfuckers kill me. I got money on my mind.
Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be showing you the most common problems of why your aircon doesn't work, and this relates to E46, E39, E53. And the problem is a common problem on a lot of the cars, and a lot of people ain't aware. A lot of guys in other countries, their aircon ain't working, they think it's this, they think it's that, and I'm here to actually tell you why it doesn't work and what the problems are and how to fix them very easily and very cheaply, as people are saying they either think their aircon's low on gas or that it's because their fan ain't working. And I'm going to show you what the main common causes of why it doesn't work and where to look when it's not working and how to fix it immediately. Okay guys, so the first one, as you can see right here, is the plug that runs to the AC compressor itself. Now that plug likes to get burnt out because, as you can see right there, it runs right next to the radiator hoses. Now a lot of people, they end up taking that off and it doesn't plug back in properly, and that stops the AC clutch itself pulling in. As you know, it's a magnetic coil, it pulls it in and starts the aircon off. Now that's a common problem, and a lot of people ain't aware of that plug gets burnt out or it can become disconnected, and that's one problem of why your aircon doesn't work. The next one will be the radiator fan switch. Now that fan switch does control the fan to go on for the AC and the heating. Now if that ain't working, you'll run into a lot of problems, and then what will happen is that switch itself won't activate the fan when you need your aircon to come on. So that's another thing to check. The best way to check that is to unplug it, and you'll know if your fan starts working on its own that fan switch is faulty. Now the next one, guys, I don't know if you can see right underneath there, but there's an AC pressure switch. Now that switch alone right underneath there that connects onto the AC pipes, that switch which sits right underneath here, I'm just trying to get to it, that switch alone controls the amount of aircon inside the car. Now if it thinks that the aircon has got low, it will automatically turn off and not engage the AC compressor to stop you damaging the AC compressor, because as you know, if it runs low on Freon, your AC compressor can get damaged and it won't activate the aircon compressor. That's if you get low on AC. So you have to make sure that your AC is fully regassed and make sure that sensor's working. That's another common problem, the air conditioning pressure switch, which causes a lot of issues, and it can make your air conditioning not turn on because it'll think it's low. So get that changed. Now the next thing is this fan right here. Now this fan, let me just tell you, will not stop your aircon working. Trust me on that. I've had many E46s and E39s where this pulse width modulated fan, which is controlled by the DME, doesn't work, and my aircon has always still worked. And I'm going to tell you, if this fan ain't working and your AC ain't working, I'm going to show you exactly what the cause is. But this fan will not stop your AC working at all. Take my word on that. This fan just cools the car down and will not do anything else. It cools the radiator. That's all it does. But your AC will not be working because of one other reason on this car, and the main reason is it's very, very overlooked. A lot of people ain't even aware of it. They look all through the engine bay replacing that AC compressor, checking all their lines, and it's nothing of the sort. There's a very, very common problem in these which a lot of people just don't even know, and they go to garages and they misdiagnose it and are never aware of what the problem is, and it sits right inside the car itself. Now as you'll know, up here, which goes into the back of the climate control panel itself, if you take this panel off, there's an evaporated temperature sensor. Now when that goes as well, that will control your whole aircon. That will stop your aircon working because that reads the temperature of the car and can read if it's too hot in here, and if it's too hot in here, it won't activate the aircon. So you need to make sure that's also working inside these cars, because that is a common problem. That's on the E39 as well. There's a lot of cars that use that. E53, they all use it. It's like a long needle. I'll put a picture up here above so you guys can see. But that's another culprit of why your aircon won't work. So make sure you go and check that out as well, as if that ain't working, your aircon will not activate when you press the button on your HVAC panel, or AHK as you like to call it. Now another common problem you guys have got to be aware of, which will stop your aircon working, is this heater control valve right here. Now when this goes bad, this is electronic. It uses a piston inside to close the hot water, to stop the hot water going into the heater matrix. Now if this fails and it ain't working properly, which you usually get a code for, or you won't hear it buzzing at all, will usually stop, and what will happen, stop the hot water going into the heater matrix to allow the aircon to go ice cold, which then in turn will cause your whole aircon not to work because it will just keep flying hot water through. Now what's meant to happen is this, when you turn it to cold, is meant to push a piston down and stop any hot water going into the heater matrix, to stop any kind of hot air going in. Now when it fails, it will constantly allow hot water to get into your heater matrix, which will constantly keep the car hot constantly. So make sure you check that as well. Now another common problem on this car is this panel itself. Now I'm going to tell you why. This panel can end up blowing the circuit inside, which it detaches from the solder. Now let me just show you. When you press this button right here, that activates the aircon. Now when you press that button, which is the A key button, that's meant to activate the magnetic clutch, which I'll show you now. As you'll see right there, the magnetic clutch ain't going round. Now I've got a funny feeling this IHK, this HVAC unit is faulty. This is the same exact problem I was having on my 530D, on my E39 with the same problem, where this HVAC panel does not activate the relay to the magnetic clutch. Now the way to test this is by getting ISTA-D, plugging it up to your car with a diagnostic scanner and activating the AC clutch itself manually via the diagnostics computer. And then you'll know that this system is at fault. What happens is this button loses signal to the DME to activate the AC clutch itself and to pull in the magnetic clutch. And that's how you know if this panel's at fault. Because if your AC clutch pulls in, which if you've got a diagnostic scanner and you've got it outside, you can watch the clutch pull in and engage, and you'll feel cold air come out through the car. That's how you'll know that your aircon is faulty. That is the best way to tell. These HVAC panels themselves, they fail. It's a common problem. Inside, the button itself, which sends a signal to the DME to activate the AC clutch, doesn't end up working. It ends up frying. Nobody knows why. It's a common problem, and it took me to diagnose it, because what I did, I put ISTA-D up to the car, and then I activated the AC clutch. The AC clutch was working, and I could feel cold air coming out the vents, which means the car was full of AC. But when I was pressing the button on there, it was showing on ISTA-D that the button was lighting up, but that still didn't explain the problem. So then what I done is I went and bought a HVAC panel, which I knew was good, plugged it up, immediately pushed the button, my AC clutch would activate, and I would have full aircon, very cold. So I knew the HVAC panel was faulty. And then I read up, and apparently what happens is that button inside, the resistor ends up coming off. It's not worth repairing. So you guys who don't try and be cheap and try and repair the problem, go and get yourself a new HVAC panel. They're not expensive. Plug it in and you'll see your AC will work without no issues. It's a common problem. I've had it on many E39s and E53s. This HVAC panel can really trick you. You will not even know it's not working. And like I said, you'll see right down there that the AC clutch is just not engaging. Everything works on this. It's got full AC, I know that. So guys, if your AC clutch ain't pulling in, which you can easily check from here, and you can see it spinning, where when you push the button, it's meant to send a signal to the clutch to pull the magnetic clutch in. If it's not doing that, that's your problem. Check your HVAC panel before you check anything else, because you might be full of aircon and it still won't work. So guys, as you've just seen now, I've just shown you all the aircon common problems on the E46, E39 and E53, which can stop your air conditioning working on your car. And if you have had it fully regassed and it's still not working, this is a common problem. This is exactly what I did. I went and had my car refilled. On my E39, the aircon still wasn't working when they're pressing the button in. The AC clutch still wasn't engaging, and it turned out it was the HVAC panel not sending the correct signal to the DME to turn AC clutch on to activate the air compressor. Now on ISTA-D, it was showing that the button was working. It could read that I was pressing the button, but the signal wasn't getting to the DME. So if it doesn't get to the DME, your AC clutch will not turn on and you will not have no AC. The same for your pressure sensor. Make sure you check that, because that can control your AC as well. If you get low, the air conditioner by default won't turn on. That's normal. That's to stop the AC compressor getting killed off. So check that you're not low first. Go and get it regassed. If it's still not working, check your HVAC panel. 100% that'll be your problem. But many thanks for watching, guys. It's BMW Dr. Dean here. I hope you liked this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up if it's helped you. And thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.